Shalom, shalom. The title of this quick lesson is Why is it is important to study to give an answer? And even more, why is it important to be a student before you teach? I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit, Lord willing as a whole, that y'all all continue in sound doctrine, four corners of the earth. And shalom to the Akwaf, the sisters of his faith and his truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Again, the title of this lesson is Why It's Important to Study to Give an Answer. And even more, why is it important to be a student before teaching? This video right here, which Lord willing, I'm gonna try to merge it together, but for time's sake, because sometimes my phone do act funny, I am gonna play some of it. Lord willing.
Well, would you?
So, you know,
Microchip? Would you take a microchip? Your leader said you think God cares if somebody take a microchip. Would you take a microchip? Hell no, you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. Well, would you?
so, you know, so I will let you know.
You got to be able to say no, yes or no on that one.
Look at what I'm saying. I will let you know.
Yep.
But right now, I'm still learning.
You're still learning.
But you gotta know that.
No. Lord willing, I can merge it, and I don't make this too long, or I do a part two. So it was a brother that came up to the GMS Dallas, with the elder Yashawamba in the middle. This young brother right here with the star, that's a young brother in ISUBK, he 18. And this man didn't even know what tribe John the Baptist was in. Then they asked him, was John the Baptist in the truth? Because, ISUBK teach that he's not, which inspired multiple lessons, which I believe I already did on my channel, but we're going to do them again, and Lord willing, is edifying. But Lord willing, if I can merge it on this video, it's very important to study. This even intrigued me to go even harder for myself. I'm a student, regardless if I'm calling myself a prophet. It's endless. You got to always study. The new precepts you get sometimes, because we in this flesh. I do forget the old precepts. I got to dabble back into the law. Now I'm in Revelations. This is an endless thing, man. Studying is important, especially when somebody's asking you key questions and you can't answer it. The man was worried about rank so much, which inspired the other lesson dealing with women. Women care about position and validation, and then there was other things that they were speaking on pertaining to women. And it intrigued me to do a lesson. To actually do a lesson that aligns with this. So Lord willing, it's edifying, and we cover some points. So the first precept I want to get is Proverbs, the 15th chapter, verse 28 in the KJV. It says, "The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things." Right? So when we look at the word, when you're studying, is the same for as you seeking, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You're investigating, you're going into the prophecies, the parables, the dark sayings, right? Where you're watching videos of brothers break them down. You get into precepts, and then you're searching those scriptures daily, right? So that you can be persuaded that this is right. Or you're going to be persuaded like, nah, that's not it. You doing history research. You looking up certain nations, depending on what it's going into. You searching up words, if it's in the Greek, if it's in the Hebrew. You have to really be sure about your faith, In order for me to believe in Yahushai, I had to be a student. I'm going to be truthfully honest with myself. I don't know about y'all. So a righteous man doesn't speak off impulse. He studies, meditate and confirms the truth before answering. When you study, you make sure your answer lines up with the word of Yahweh, not emotions or traditions. So just like the precepts that we bring up, we want them to line up. This right here is Second Chronicles, the 15th chapter, verse 13. It says that whosoever would not seek Yahweh power of Israel should be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman. That word for seek, I believe, I'm always bringing it out, is Darash, H1875.
Strong's H1875. Darash. Darash.
Darash, right? Now, let me check something in the back just to make sure that is saying Darash, okay? Because I got my Hebrew alphabet. Darash, Salakia, yeah, Darash, right? So the outline biblical usage for this word is multiple. You got multiple biblical usage for this word. Now, I always point out this one down here, to investigate, inquire, right? You're investigating the scriptures, man, right? Practice, to study, follow, seek with application. And that's why, when you look at the people of Berea, they search the scriptures. They search the scriptures daily, whether it was so. So if brothers is going to this book and that book, you're going to go to those same books, those verses, and you're going to read those precepts. Hey, you might even get more context just to make sure you're understanding it or get it, right? So that you could be persuaded, is it true or is it false? Seeking is very important when you come in this faith, okay? So let's get another classic that we always bring out. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Like just with this lesson, the lesson before, we're dividing the word to line up with the lesson, or the title, the point of the lesson. If these precepts, the words, homology, the concordance that we going into, if it's not lining up, then that lesson is false. It got to be fixed, and you got to go back to the drawing board to bring forth a complete lesson, right? So the study is to mean to labor diligently, like daily, in the scriptures. So when questions come, you won't be ashamed or confused. You'll be able to rightly divide, meaning you'll be able to separate the truth from error and teach sound doctrine. This is sound doctrine, especially when we're going into homology of words, And hey, I got to be even more diligent. Just because I got this, I got that, I still got to. Look, I'm nothing. I'm not a know-it-all. I still got to go to I got to go to Yahweh Shema Shai for this word, G4704, Spudazo.
Strong's G 4704. Spudazo. Spudazo.
Spudazo. To hasten, make haste, right? But look at this one. Give diligence. Come on, man. Be diligent. Right? Be diligent. Be forward. Give diligence. Labor. Studying is laboring, man. To use speed. Especially when you don't know something, you about to jump right. You about to jump in the dang Bible. To get understanding, I come across certain precepts brothers bring out. Like one lesson the other day, brothers was bringing out Sirach 28:18, speaking about your words can cause death. I'm like, wait, hold on, this is a killer. Even though it's other verses, especially in Proverbs, but when the brother brought it out in the G&T, it was just smacking in a certain way. So I try to look up certain precepts. I even had to do an AI overview to get certain precepts you wouldn't expect, especially in different translation, NLT, GNT, and line them up with the lesson on watch your mouth. Watch what you say. Hey, even if you're not around people, watch what you thinking, because that could be of the elect. So it's the same when it comes to any lesson, especially when it's prophecy. You know, you have to study. If I'm over here telling you that salvation only for Israel, I have to study to make sure when somebody comes and say no, it's for everybody, even the precepts that they use, you know, because we're able to, oh, you going there? Hey, if you actually know this is going into this, da-da-da-da-da. It's scriptures that other people bring out and they don't even understand what the heck that's going into. This is 1 Peter's chapter 3 in verse 15. It says, but sanctify Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai power in your hearts, in your mind, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks of you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear, right? Because when we do this, we're trying to be humble. Meek is a form of being humble, right? Us doing lessons on brothers, I'm not better than a brother because I'm doing a lesson. A point came out, I made a video. This is not about me rubbing at somebody I'm better than them. While I'm doing this, I'm trying to prove myself to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, let alone before I do any lessons, I'm asking Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai to guide me to edify the sheep and let me be edified. Okay? So when we study, it gives us confidence in what we believe in. You know, if you're not studying, how do you grow in confidence? Especially if you're not watching lessons and actually trying to pay attention. If you distracted, things is in a way. This shows if you believe where you make time later on, you know what? I couldn't pay attention that time, but I'm about to jump back in there and rewatch that lesson again. Only somebody that truly believes wants that message. If I'm watching a lesson and I'm already into it in the first 5 minutes, and say, especially when I'm gonna use work as an example, or when I'm at home and I'm able to move around and do all of this, I might be able to watch 10, 15 minutes of the lesson. I'm like, dang, I gotta finish that. I put it on watch later. And if I don't finish it that day, I'm going back when I'm at work, or it might come Sunday. All the videos I got on my YouTube, like let me just go to it. And we might end up doing a part 2 because it's always good to go to remind ourselves on studying. So my watch later, these is all the videos. I watched all of these and I saved them in my watch because a lot of them is breakdowns where I might forget a certain verse, you know, or I probably remembered all of it, but you want to keep them in clutch. So just in case if I do forget, I can hurry up and run to it. Or if somebody want to hear the whole breakdown, even by one of the apostles, I can send it to them. Or I watched every last one of them. I watched some of these at home. I watched all of these, majority at work. Every video we went to, I watched every last one of them. Every last one. Yeah, every last one of these videos I watched. Okay, now these two, those was good. But I watched all of them. So when I come across other videos that I miss and my notifications, and I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna watch this. Ooh, I'm gonna watch that. And if I ain't got time, or if my mind's somewhere else and I'm like, oh, he going into a different point, I go click that video, pause it, and I go right to save. And I got all different points of videos. Majority of all my videos I save is on watch later. But then this is only for edification purposes, right? Then I go to my other playlist where I might be listening to the brother Baquar, where he's doing chapters. Like It's not like he's putting mad precepts, but he's giving you the history, right, on each chapter, right? And he's doing all the books, all the, like Isaiah, Hosea. So to sharpen my history, my mind frame, right? If I can do it, you can do it. First speaking to you men, but you women, especially you single women that's able to actually listen to the other brothers teach, right? If you able, you should be watching these videos, right? And then, hey, if you got your downtime, hey, go read you some chapters, right? Get inspired, because the word of Yahweh Shemashai is inspiring. Now, if you get married, talking to you sisters, right? If your husband is a teacher, or say if he not, and he say, hey, yo, watch this video, go watch it, right? Do your best to go watch that video. But if he's already a teacher, you already got the unlimited source, old videos, new videos, right? But again, us studying give us confidence in what we believe in. You don't just repeat what you heard. Where you don't want to be a damn parrot gurgitating. You understand why you believe it, and you speak it with humility and fear of Yahweh. It's sometimes I might quote something somebody else said because of that point that they said, but then I'm adding extra words, because I'm a talker. I'm gonna add extra words, right? Let's get a few more precepts, because I don't want to make the video too long and it take too long to upload. So let's go to Sirach Ecclesiasticus, the 6th chapter. This is verse 32 to 33. It says, my son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. If thou bow thy ear, thou shalt be wise. You have to love to hear, right? Oh, I love hearing. Like your mom love hearing the gospel music. That's the same effect you got to have when it comes to the truth. Because most time gospel music is gospel music. But in order to get edified, it's not music. Like when David had Psalms, the Psalms of David is actually scriptures. Yes, it can turn into a song and you singing it, like literal singing. He's really singing. But those songs were actually edification, because look, they're actually written in the scriptures. Come on, man. So you supposed to love to hear. And it says, thou shalt be taught. Let's go to Hebrews, the 5th chapter. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. It says, for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong drink. Now, watching the point a little before that clip, the brother actually has a, basically, I'm gonna say, wife. His wife is with him. Oh yeah. So it's not showing it, but his wife is with him. And if you got a wife, you're supposed to be dwelling with her according to knowledge, especially if she's slipping up, right? She ain't playing her lot too well. She ain't sharpening up. She ain't growing. She don't know if she growing, right? But then let alone for her to actually understand what's going on, you're dwelling with her according to knowledge. You don't have to sit down and do a whole class lesson, but hey, you run your house. If you like, yo, babe, sit down, let's get into scriptures. That's you. You run your house if you want to do a lesson, But then again, if she's in this thing and she ain't got nothing to do, she should be watching those lessons, right? So that she can grow in faith in Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? So before one teach wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, one must first hear and receive it. A true teacher was first a humble student who submitted to correction and instruction. What do you think the disciples were? They were pupils. They were learners. They was learning. And half the time with Yahweh Shai, they could not get it till Yahweh Shai ascended to his Father. Now they get it. Now they getting hit with the Rakak Wadash, and the spirit of the Lord is giving them a remembrance of everything. Confirmation. Oh man, that was it. Right? We're gonna let this one, Lord willing, be the last one. This is Luke, the 6th chapter, verse 40. It says, see, and we just said it, the disciples is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. Now, let's just fact check. Let's fact check that by looking at the Greek. Okay, and I'm showing for those that's coming in this thing how to use the blue letter. I'm not the best, but I can show you. I can show you a few left, trigger, square. So you hit the interlinear, the concordance. So we looking for the word disciple, G3101. You click that. This is the Greek word.
Strong's G 3101. Mathetes. Mathetes.
Mathetes. The biblical usage: a learner, a pupil, a disciple. Right? It says it the same in the Strong's definition. So a disciple is a learner, a pupil. Right? So when you come in this thing, you want to be a learner. You want to learn. So the disciples is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. Right? That's 1 John 2:6. If ye abide in him, you must walk as he walked. First talking to you men. Yahushua taught the disciple, which is students, learners, pupils, must learn under guidance before they can reach the level of their teacher. You can't lead others until you've learned discipline in truth yourself. Right? Oh man, I said that was the last one. Sorry, y'all. Wisdom of Solomon, the 6th chapter, because it goes into discipline. The 6th chapter, the 17th verse. It says, for the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. Right? So to be a student, you're building yourself in discipline. And this goes back to what we said earlier, pertaining to 1 Peter 3:15. Studying gives us confidence to what we believe in. So every time you read, you get done, you get ready to tell somebody, yo, man, I just heard this. Y'all at work. Man, yo, I just read the craziest chapter, bro. Like, it was some crazy, and I read it before, but it just hit at the right time. Man, I'm about to do a lesson on it. You get confidence on your faith. Okay? When I hear a certain lesson and it's just hitting, a lot of my lessons is inspired by a video I watch. Sometimes even when I'm like, if anybody is paying attention to my channel, I was doing series on what I was reading in Revelations. So each chapter, I was damn near doing a lesson on either a few verses or doing lessons on the 7 churches. I got inspired by what I was reading. I did a lesson on it. So just off of that video of Elder Yashawamba, the GMS Dallas camp, it was multiple points they was talking to this brother about, which I did lessons on. This other one is from a different video, but this is how I know I got inspired. It says, you can't be grafted into something you never was a part of. That's a lesson right there. Dealing for the Christians, speaking about the other nations can get grafted in. How can you be grafted into something you wasn't a part of? Dealing with Elder Yashawamba and them. This was a point that came up in the video. Why John the Baptist questioned if Yahushua is the Messiah or the Hamashiach? Because he didn't see the miracles. We just gonna do quick lessons on those points, right? Because ISUBK, and it's probably other brothers in other congregations somewhere that don't believe John the Baptist is in the truth because he didn't believe in Yahushua. He did believe in Yahushua. It was just he didn't see the miracles. He was in jail, right? And he was doing his own lot, right? And then, was John really in the truth? Was he? And then the last one is, why was John the Baptist the best prophet on the earth? Which the scripture says. He had the Lord. That was his lot. And I was inspired, and since, the Lord allowed me to be able to be a teacher. But guess what? I got one precept maybe for each one of them. But guess what? I'm going to have to go dig to go get more to make the lesson complete. That's what students do. And to do a lesson, the things that you learn, hey, you probably forgot. That's what some brothers do. They got their cell phone. They can, because the brother, he said I can't quote the verse. If you can't even quote a sentence, then what is you doing? He said he 18 years old. What is you doing? It's times I might not remember the chapter, the verse, but I might be able to remember a sentence in the verse or what it's going into. You could type that right in Google and it pop right up. Now, if you're using one of those damn AI chats, right, you can ask that question or reference that verse and it will pop up that verse or other similar verses to it. And guess what? Like Apostle Tahar said, you got a lesson right there, man. Okay? So Lord willing, this is edifying. There's other verses that we could go to, but I wanted to keep it short and straight to the point. So let me just close off with this one. This is Proverbs 9:9. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. So even as you grow, a wise person never stops being a student, right? Regardless if I'm saying I'm a prophet, I'm a man of the Lord, right? Guess what? I'm still a student, always growing as like a tree, right? And I'm trying to be instant in season, out of season. The best teachers remain students of Yahweh Shema Shai for life, right? A student is ever learning. Why is people keep going back to college to get a higher bachelor's degree so that they can go further in their field or whatever the heck they're going, right? Sirach 19:24. He that have small understanding and feareth the Most High is better than one that have much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High. They was asking him small questions. He couldn't even answer that. That's better than the things that I know now. That would have been better, especially if he knew what tribe John the Baptist was in. If he actually knew about the MOTB. They just said microchip, but when he left, they started speaking about the MOTB. But as soon as they said chip, he should already said, as you speaking about Revelation 13, the MOTB. They were speaking about the sea biscuit. He's like, wait, the what? The sea, the Covey Cove. The what? Oh man, I can't call out precepts, and I don't remember. Brothers ain't even telling you what precept do you know. They just saying it to you. That's the smallest understanding right there. And that's something I desire to have to make sure I'm able to give an answer if somebody questioned me. So Lord willing, we all can take from this and actually grow. So call Allah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit and in sound doctrine, Lord willing that they continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Akwaf, the sisters of his faith and his truth. Lord willing you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, Yahweh Shema Shai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. So with that, shalom, shalom, abba.
Use that to say he fell out of the truth when they told y'all to take the jab. Now, are they going to tell you to take the microchip? Would you take a microchip? Your leader said you think God cares if somebody take a microchip. Would you take a microchip? Hell no, you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. Well, would you?
So I will let you know.
You got to be able to say no, yes or no on that one.
Look at what I'm saying. I will let you know.
Yep.
But right now, I'm still learning.
You're still learning.
But you got to know that I know the scripture.
You just saying.
But I don't know how to explain.
Explain. Okay.
Yes, so
young.
If you're telling me I know yes or no, but you don't know.
But about stuff like if I'm walking around with the star, which that's not even script, but anyway, if I'm walking around with that and the headband, you know what I'm saying? Somebody walk up to you and say it's John the Baptist, the man of the Lord, or just, you know what I'm saying? If you follow Great Millstone, you would have those answers right now. but we ain't telling you to follow us. But I'm just saying, our young brothers, we got brothers that been listening to us, you know, the young.
6
And
months.
they know the scriptures, man. You got to know the scriptures, brother.
So,
Yeah.
so I let you know,
Uh huh.
and you let me know.
Mm-hmm.
It says in the scriptures,